We're already pulling shards on the free-to-play. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm very excited because we are going to pull some shards today on the free-to-play. But I do want to be clear, this isn't that many shards and this is not an attempt to just make the video longer. I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I've been doing and some stuff I forgot, right? So when it comes to the missions, I wanted to talk about some of the missions that require you to level gear up. So it's cheaper to level gear that is 1-star and gray. So you can see, if I can find a champion that I did it on, like here, I needed to equip somebody with level 8 gear, right? You'll see I'm using gray gear, and these are the requirement was 3-star gear and it needed to be level 8 or higher, right? And so I leveled it up to level 8, but I did 3-star gray gear because it's cheaper in terms of silver. Likewise, we did the same thing here with Sorceress. So my point is that if you're gonna level up gear for the sake of a mission or a challenge or anything of that sort, try to level up the gray gear. I call it gray. I guess technically it's common gear, but because it's just cheaper to level up than it is to level up the equivalent of a 4-star epic piece, which will drain your resources very quickly. So this is a little tip, a little guide for you as you're progressing through those missions and those challenges. So that was a little tidbit I forgot to include in the video, and I really wanted to mention that to you guys. Real quick, if you're looking to be part of my account takeover series, join the Discord below. But a little heads up, I'll be prioritizing accounts that were started with my exclusive promo link. This will also guarantee you a free legendary Elenaril and 3 amazing free epics as you level up. Here's what you need to do. Log out of Plarium and Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. You'll get Elenaril for free along with Uugo, Tagoar, Rector Drath, and a better chance at a takeover, so click my link right now. So the last video we talked a lot, Supreme Gaelic is going to be my first 6-star. I've made up my mind on that, right? We're not going to pivot, change my mind. As much as I am flaky and tend to go back and forth on things, I'm locked in. And worst case scenario, it fails and I've learned something and therefore taught you guys something and shown you like, oh man, this is frustrating, right? So I wanted to talk about that and reiterate that fact, right? So we're settled in, we're locked in on that. We also completed a couple clan quests here. So I didn't have a lot of clan quests to choose from. Unfortunately, obviously I have to go basic. Luckily, my clan, nobody really picks up the basic quests. So I had my pick. The arena ones are really easy, placing increased attack and decreased defense, although Uugo gets resisted a lot right now and has a low percentage. And then upgrade a rank 3 or higher shield to level 16. That's likely to happen just in general because I have good gear and good shields. I also moved some gear around. You can see I did get a chest piece from today's login gear, and that was an attack percent chest piece that I did take up to 16 just to make my Supreme Gaelic better. I also want to point out very quickly one flaw that I didn't talk about picking Gaelic over Kale. So his A3 hits harder than his A2, which is good, but he doesn't self-buff for the A3. So I need to buff him, which is why I have a Spirit Host currently, just for a couple days, that is 157 speed, and my Supreme Gaelic got brought down in speed a little bit to 155. Why did his speed come down? Well, I changed some gear out. Now, these are speed boots, which are, again, 16, 4-star, but I wasn't able to get more speed on the crit rate stuff, and I was able to get him to 87% crit rate. Again, we only need him to 90, right? Every single piece has an extra 10% chance of a critical hit. Every single one, right? So being able to get him to 90% crit rate already and have crit damage gloves, guys, and be in a set of lifesteal is really, really good for me, right? I'm very, very close. 3% off. Will I be able to make up that 3%? Who knows? Maybe we get some better pieces. Maybe I get a good critical rate piece, which would actually put me over, and then maybe I can rebuild him all over again. But for the most part, we've been pretty lucky, and I'm happy with where everything's currently at as far as my gear goes. So, but yeah, The only flaw that I have with him is I don't feel like he's the best PvP nuker. Granted, Kale's gear is bad right now, but I don't know that who hits really that much harder or not. I guess his A3 does hit harder than Kale's. I just have to make sure I buff him first. So that is why we are temporarily using Spirit Host. We're also using her speed aura as well. And I do need to ascend her to 3 stars. And I think I have a challenge to ascend a champion to 3 stars. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'll show you guys why. Now, Spirit Host, I did get her on campaign farming. And she is, in my opinion, one of the best early game rares that you can get. Now, she's not something to take to 60. Do not level her to 60, guys, okay? That's not what I'm telling you to do. But she's really good at 3 or 4 stars because she brings the big version, when ascended, of increase attack, which is going to give me more attack to my nukers in arena. And she also brings a speed in all battles aura by 10%. So I highly recommend using her, and she has been helping me in arena. Now I have to be very careful. I am out of refills on my arena. By the way, we're now silver 1, almost silver 2 in arena. But I do have to be careful about the teams that I take on because my Supreme Gaelic is not hitting quite as hard as I would like. So we're going to go against this team that is not using a speed aura. Oh, I like this. It's all Gaelics. That's cute. And I'm not doing auto anymore because I want to make sure that I'm using the right buffs. Something I noticed with Uugo, if you take damage, she does have a tendency to try and heal you. So you'll see that's something that I would really like to see that kill there, right? I'd like to see that be a full wipe. I think the big flaw is that his crit damage is a little bit low. Obviously, his attack is low, but I'm finding other players that are my, level. So he could use a little bit of improvement in his damage and such. But yeah, overall, we're doing pretty good. And you can see, like, mission wise, we've got a pretty smooth sailing moving forward, right? Upgrade any artifact to level 16. Fire Knight, I know I can do that. This I've already done. Force Keep I can do. We definitely want to get through the keeps as quickly as possible too. Ascend a champion to level 5 of Ascension. Now this is going to be big headache for me where I'm going to have to get more ways to ascend. Like I'm going to have to, the only champions that I can ascend right now are going to be to 5 anyways, are Supreme Gaelic, Elenaril, or I can rank up Kale to 5 stars. Speaking of, where are we on that? Still 2 chickens. Now I can farm some food if I need to, but we are pretty far away on the apprentice pass from the other 4-star chickens. Like we're really far away unless we start completing these challenges, which will speed things up. So that's everything I wanted to do. I just wanted to give you guys an extra little bit of information on the account and then go ahead and pull these shards. So thank you for bearing with me. Sorry, I know you guys wanted to see the good stuff. My hope is tonight, if I can push really hard and even farm up food for Kale in a little bit of time, if possible, I might be able to get him to 5 stars and ascended. Yeah, I need a lot of the superiors and 15 of the voids to get to 5-star. It'll be much easier to do it on Kale. Much, much easier. So ranking him up to 5 stars would make a lot of sense. And then getting that ascension done for the mission as well will be very handy. Can I do that tonight and still pull these ancients? And why am I pulling ancients? We're under a 2x. We have a 2 times chance of epics and legendaries, right? Now, I mentioned this before. There might be some value in waiting and pulling these ancient shards at the next 2x. There might be some value in that because it's 8 extra shards. And that could get me more champion chase points. That could go towards a fusion. Who knows what direction this account is going to go in. But it's a 2x chance, and I've busted my butt to be able to get these ancient shards, and I want to use them. So we're going to go ahead and pull them, and we might even get some reasonable rares too that might give us some additional help early game too. So let's pull some shards. Epic right away. Hey, we were just talking about Kenichi. Okay, let's go over the kit really quickly here. We've got a weaken on the A1. By the way, weaken I don't have right now in my team. So that's actually pretty valuable. It is the big version, albeit on a 30% chance on a single hitter. So not the best, but this books up to a 100% leech, which is really good. and something that I could use to help me heal on clan boss. Although I will have Artor, so maybe it's a little less valuable. But then we have a 3-turn ally protection. It is a 2-turn ally protection on a 3-turn cooldown and fills her own turn meter by 50%. And then the passive places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever their HP drops below 50%. Now, she's not the best ally protector out there, but if I'm looking for an ally protector to maybe even pair with my strengthen that I'm going to be getting from Artor in the near future, I might have some really good survivability that could really help me out. And that leech is going to help me heal a little bit better. And the weaken is really valuable too. I think when you consider that the weaken, that's going to help my everything do more damage as well, albeit that isn't going to pop up that much because it's only a 30%, or sorry, it books up to a 40% chance, but it's still not going to happen that often. So this isn't a champion that I'm like 1000% like, yes, I'm going to build this champion, but they have some good pieces in their kit that I might utilize when you consider that's the first epic that I pulled. Okay, let's get on with a couple more pulls here. Okay, expected a rare. Getting a couple rares right now is going to help me progress. Well, getting champions of different affinities is going to help me progress in some of the challenges. You saw one of them get completed right there. Would love to see another epic if possible, right? Obviously a legendary would be nuts, but the odds of that are still really, really low, even on a 2x. And you can see I'm completing a bunch of challenges right now, so this is pretty good. Hey, listen, that is not bad, actually. Let's talk about pulling things like Kale's early game and what that is really going to do for me. So right away, the first thought is, boom, now my Kale has 10% more HP, right? That's actually really good. I won't be mad about pulling a Kale at all, but still, yeah, I'm happy to get that Kale because I get a 10% more HP on my Kale. That's awesome. I mean, free 10% HP just for 1 ancient shard during a 2x, right? So that's why it's kind of a good idea, right, to pull. I did get an epic and I got some benefits overall to the account. I haven't seen any other rares stick out so far, by the way. I'm sure there are probably some that I'm sleeping on, but didn't see any that stuck out. All right, and we go all rares to finish it off. So we start with an epic, and then we go all rares. Still, I'm not mad at that, right? And we know we're 8 into our mercy now as well, which is great for us, right? So we can use that to calculate future shard pulls and stuff, but we did get an extra epic that we didn't have a few minutes ago, and I could see this epic getting played. When you consider the team that I would be putting forward, like if we're theory crafting a clan boss team, you know, I think Supreme Galek and Kale are in there. I think Uugo is in there, right? That's our decreased defense champion and our leech and a little bit of healing on the A3. So those champions are probably a lock. Elenaril makes a ton of sense because she can activate poisons and place more burns that can potentially be activated by Galek or extended, and she brings more poisons, right? She makes a lot of sense. Also doesn't need any books either, which is nice. So, I mean, they'll help, but they won't hurt if I can't book her. And then I can prioritize booking Galek instead. So then there's that 4th spot, right? So we've got these guys. So the 4th one is going to be a support of some kind. Who's going to give me a way to live, right? Well, Kenichi brings a way to live. She brings an ally protect. She brings a leech. Consider that Ugo's leech is only a 35%. So we would get an additional, this is 100% leech, albeit on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. So not the best leech, but we also would then get a weaken potentially. So there's value in Konichi. The other option might be Tagoar. But I think overall, the best option that I probably will go with is going to be Artor. And I say that because Artor brings increased attack and a strengthen, which is also a way to survive, but also fills my turn meter by 15%, which is really handy. Brings a revive as well. So if I have a squishier Kale, which I'm going to have because my lifesteal gear is on my Galek, who has a higher HP level and will be kind of tanky, Artor can revive that Kale a bunch, or that Ellenauril a bunch, or, whoever needs it, right? And then we have an all ally heal by 5%. That's gonna, stack up pretty well over time too. I think Artor is probably the better choice, mostly because of the increased attack will help buff my Elenaril and Gale. It also helps with Galek, although he does bring his own increased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. So it's a 3-turn increased attack on a 3-turn cooldown ability. So there is value there. But yeah, it alters a little bit how important that increased attack to the overall team is. But I still think that Artor would be better than probably Tagoar in this particular instance, although I love Tagoar a lot, and over Kenichi. Now, if I had a different ally protector, you know, maybe something like a Taragi or a better ally protector in general, then I might consider using them. But I think because she really needs books to be effective, and epic books are still pretty few and far between, that she's probably not going to see much use in the near future outside of faction wars. But I do think she'll get used there. All right, guys. We're going to call that a video. I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We are close to 5,000 subscribers. And very, very quickly, I am going to do, as a 5,000 subscriber video, I want to do like an Ask Me Anything type thing. So feel free to put in the comments if you have any questions for me. Either way, look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.